Hey everybody, Lars here. Time for the third and final review video for Big Bad Unit 3. I say it's the final video, but it's really not. There's going to be two videos after this. One is going to be where we rewrite the Project Euler problem and we use functions and libraries. And then there's going to be another one where I'm going to do a little demo. I'm going to pick out a little homework problem of my own to do and let you watch me do it, and it's going to have alarming similarities to the homework you're going to have to do, all right? You're going to get this video tonight. We'll talk about it when I do announcements later, but tomorrow I'm probably going to release the assignments for this unit, and then you'll have, I don't know, something like 10 days to do it. Unit doesn't end until the 6th. What is that, a Friday or something? I think the 4th of July is a Wednesday. I don't know. I'll figure it out. All right, but let's get started and talk about libraries and modularity. I am starting from scratch in this one. I got to start from nothing. Let's see. Let's go get a new file. Let's size it. Let's put it right there. You know me. I like a comment here and there. I'll put my name, and then I'll say playing with libraries. Okay, what's the first thing I want to do? I think the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create the trusty my list. And I'm going to throw some numbers in there. Go ahead and throw the 12 in there. Make it a nice nasty number. And then I'm going to create a variable a, and I'm going to assign it the sum of my list. Alright, and then I'm just going to print a. Alright, should be simple. Ready to go. What am I going to call this? I'll call this libby.py. Why not? And then when I run it, I get 42, and I'm pretty sure 42 is the answer. Yeah, it's 30 up to 10, and then that. So the answer to the universe, or Jackie Robinson, or whatever you want to do with 42. All right. So somewhere, I don't recall where, I heard that Python had a square root function. So I'm going to create a variable called b, and I'm going to have b be the square root of a. So whatever the square root of 42 is, that's what b will be, and I will print b, and I'll be in good shape. Let's see what we get. Dun 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 dun. Error. Name square root is not defined. That's because square root is a function that resides in a library. Now, this is the story, and this harkens all the way back to the 70s when they invented the language C at Bell Labs. Computer languages, we want them to be small and compact and fit in memory and be fast and live and not really be loaded up with a whole bunch of different things. If you loaded all of the functionality of these computer languages, Python, C++, Java, there'd be monstrous. You wouldn't be able to move. You wouldn't be able to do things. You'd clog down the systems. So what we do as computer programmers and system builders is we have all of our tools, but we don't put them all on our belt and take them with us. We have them laying around, and when we need a certain tool, we can go get it. And that's basically what we do with libraries. You have in Python something called the standard library, where there are tons, and we're going to look at it, there are tons of libraries for you to use, for you to do things in your programming. Something you can think of doing, it's probably been done already, and somebody did a library for it, which is kind of cool. Like anything else, we do it ourselves, and then when you know the ropes, you can go and grab things from libraries and basically just patch together your code and get the job done you need to get done. In this case, I happen to know that square root comes from the math library. So all I have to do is type the import command, import, and I have to tell it what library I want to import from. In this case, math. Okay? Now there's one more thing we have to do. That square root, I got to tell it to go to the math library and get that square root. So now, as you can see, idle is a good little IDE, and it's going to show me all of the different functions that I can grab if I do the math library. Okay? I'm not going to do it, but now when I run my code, I get the answer. 6.4 point whatever. Okay? So now you're probably saying to yourself, that's wonderful. How awesome is that? How the hell am I supposed to know where square root is and where all these things is? Well, this is where you're lucky, because when I was a kid, you had to pour through manuals. There used to be a big table. Any computer lab you went into in the 70s and 80s, there was a huge table with all the manuals for all the languages, Pascal and PL1 and COBOL and this, and it had listings of all their libraries. and you had to go through the listings and read and read and read. You don't have to do that anymore because you have the internet. Python standard library comes right up. I'm going to grab it. 3.6. Boom. Read this page. Play around with this page. Look at all these libraries. Okay? Text processing, different data types. You can play around with time, calendar, numerical methods. Here's math. We'll go back to it in a second. Iteration tools. You're going to use that if you do a lot of Project Euler things. Okay, there's pickle right there. I mean, there's a whole lot of stuff and a whole lot of different things you can do. As you can see, there's a lot to explore when you're done learning the basics of Python. But let's go back to the math. I can click on math, and look, it tells me what all of the different functions are, what they do, and how to use them. Here we've got a ceiling function, we've got a floor function, and if we come all the way down here, just a little bit, we come into square root, returns the square root of x. And that's what we're going to use. You've got trigonometric functions. You've got a whole bunch of stuff. You also have constants. There's a constant for pi that you can use. Does it list the constants down here? Angular, hyperbolic, special functions, constants. Yep. Math.pi, math.e. So if we wanted to do stuff. Now, remember this. All you have to Google is standard library. But I'm going to go back to my program. And I'm going to print v. And then afterwards, I'm just going to print math.pi next to it. Okay? And you can see you get a pretty good length of pi right there. Okay? When I was a kid, I had it memorized out to 20 or 25. Now, I don't think I'm much good after the 92. No, 65-35 is easy to remember. Then 89-79, you take away 10, yeah. And the old tricks come back. Okay? So that's the math library. Now, when I realize I import math, I realize that I don't have to do that. I can say C equals math dot ceil b d is equivalent. I should say assigned math dot floor b, and then I'm going to print c comma d. What am I going to get? I'm going to get 6 and 7. See, because the ceiling pushes you up and goes up to the 7 when it rounds, and the floor goes down to the 6. Okay? So you can use all the different things that you have in the math library. Now, the math library is not the only thing you're stuck with. You can use any library you want. Use the same import line. Now, if I want to, what should I do? W is assigned statistics dot mean, and we'll give it my list. Okay, I think that's going to work. Well, help to print it. Let's print W. And there you go, it's 7. Is that true? All that added up, divided by 6 is 7. Yeah, 42 divided by 6 is 7. Doy. Yeah. Very nice. Okay? Now, one little trick we're going to learn. Okay? And I always show it to people because you're going to see it. But I don't want you to use it. You could do this. You can say from, see it turns orange, math, import, and then what do I use here? I use square root, I use ceiling, and I use floor. And then I can say from statistics, import, mean. And then, you don't need to put the library in front, okay? Because what you're doing, in computer science we call it mapping. You're mapping the function name to the library up here with this from import statement. And then when it runs, it goes out and grabs the right library and it does the right thing, okay? So if I run this, because I've mapped everything with the from import, it should be fine. And it is. It runs just like it did before, okay? But now that I've showed you that, don't use it. This is the thing. And you know what? If there's anything when I teach computer programming that I'm flexible about, it's this. Okay? So if you use it in your programs, I don't care. It's fine. You're not going to lose any points or anything like that. But hear me out, okay? When I do this, and then I just use ceil or floor or mean, what if it were big regular program like you're going to do when you go out in the real world, and it's 100 lines down, and I say run floor. Do I know where floor came from? And floor is pretty popular, so I know it from the math library. But what if it were some other function with another name from another library? I don't know if I wrote it. I don't know if somebody else wrote it, that it's from a custom library. I don't know if it's from a third-party library, the standard library. I don't know where it came from. So if I just do import and I force myself to put the library that it came from in front of the function, then I know the next programmer that comes and reads my code is going to know exactly where I came and got that function from. Okay? So what I usually do before I give this back to people is I put it back, and then I'm going to run it, and you're going to see it's going to blow up. I'm going to say import math. And then I'm going to say import statistics. We don't have to do separate lines, but I'm going to right there. Okay, so now when we run it, it says, because it doesn't know where to go get it. Okay, because it has been mapped. I've just imported. So that what I'm going to do now is if I put math back in front of it, then I know I'm good to go. So that's the way I leave it before I give it to you guys. Let me make sure it works. And then mean is a big boy. Statistics. So then when we rerun that, now it works again, because now we have gone and changed it back. Okay, so my advice to you is to go and look around the standard library and see all of the different things that you can do. Okay, all right. I always think to myself, oh, I should put a link to it, but all you have to do is Google standard library, Python standard library. Just Google it, and it all comes up. The whole, just Google Python docs. And the entire instruction manual, you have no idea. When I was a kid, we would have killed for this. We didn't have CDs until the early 90s, like 91, 92. Microsoft Encarta came out. It was a little encyclopedia. It was a multimedia encyclopedia. And we went nuts. We went bananas over that. Oh my God, encyclopedia salesmen are going to go out of business. And they did too. I mean, it completely killed them, you know. But now everything's online. You should have seen the books, the Borland C++ manuals, and all the different libraries from all the different, oh, what a load of garbage. Thank God. You guys have it so nice. Good for you. You don't have it the old shitty way that I had it. So here's your documentation. Tinker around with the libraries. Use from import if you must. But I like just using the import and doing some other things, all right? So that's library stuff. I'm taking Libby, and I'm going to put it online for you. But there's one more thing that I want to show you, okay? Do I need that there? If you have a Windows system, like I do, and mine is 8.1, I didn't see any reason to upgrade when 10 came around. 10 wasn't that compelling as far as I was concerned. I can still upgrade my video drivers. That's the reason I'm running Windows, just for video games. So when I load my Python, if you're Windows, you're running it on Windows 10, which means you loaded Python in some crazy user name, your name, app data, something, blah, 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 docs, blah, 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 all the way down the line. When I don't do that. When I load Python, what I do, as you can see here in my directory names, is I go to the top level and I name it Python 2.7, Python 3.4, Python 3.6. There's my Anaconda installation. So if you know where your Python installation and can go there, you'll see that there's in doc, include, lib, libs, scripts, tools, all kinds of different stuff. And then the Python DLLs, that stand for Dynamic Linking Library. There's a lot of code in there. But if you can find this directory where your Python resides, and you double-click on the capital LIB right here, see all these things right here? These are your libraries. Look, there's Pickle. Okay? You come down here. Here's statistics. Okay? Now, all you have to do is double-click on it. Now, in my Windows system, it brings it up in Notepad and not my IDE. But look, there's the code. Okay? See the triple quotes they use for comments, just like we do. Then there's all your imports. They use from. You know what? A lot of Python programmers use from. I don't. I try not to. Here's some private utilities in there that the code down here will use. And then you could just come down here and look. See all the defs? You're just defining functions. You'll understand what those underscores mean very soon. Okay, medium, median high, median low, median grouped, all kinds of stuff. You can actually go and read the code that you're using, which is kind of neat. You know, you can understand exactly what it's doing. But, and this is the whole reason I bring this up with you guys, you might be saying, oh, that's fantastic, how very cool. Hey, we did square root. Let me go look for math. So I come up to the M's, and I say M-A-T, math isn't there. If you get familiar with a couple of other libraries like sys, which uses system commands, or time, you're going to learn how to time your different things. But, you know, you can start a clock and then stop it after an operation is done and see how long that operation took. Time isn't here either. It's weird. A lot of the libraries you use and a lot of the popular ones aren't in this library listing. And that's because they're kind of built in. And this is the story. Back in the late 90s when Guido von Rossum was crafting the Python programming language, he was using C. He was using the programming language C. And at the end of the day, Python is really a big, what we call a wrapper for the C programming languages. It uses C to do all its background stuff. So when he started doing math and system calls and different things like that, it just became easier to use the C libraries. Okay, so like you had your list of built-in functions like int and float and input and print, there's also a list of built-in modules. They don't call them libraries, they call them built-in modules. And basically, at the end of the day, what they are is they're the C libraries. They're the libraries that you use for the C programming language. Okay, now there's a little secret underground way to figure out what they are, and I'm going to teach it to you. First thing you want to do, come out here. We're not in the program. We're in the interpreter window, okay? And I want you to say import sys. So you're going to import a library called sys. And then what you're going to do is, I think the variable, or it's actually a list, is built-in module names. Is it dot names? No, it's not dot. Built-in underscore module names. Is it? Oh, because I don't want that capital. All right. Copy. There was one video where I just completely blanked and forgot what it was. I think it's built-in module names. Haha. And as you can see, it has a list of modules. You can see math right down here. You can see time right down there. You can't see it because it's split. Hold on. You can see, where'd you go? Sys right there. That's what I wanted, sys. Okay? You can see all of the built-in libraries by looking at the built-in module names in the sys library. It's almost like a variable. It's just a list right there that's there for you to use. Okay? So that's the little inside baseball behind that. If you want to go look at a library and see how it works, you can go to that library directory and see if your library is a Python library, but it might be a built-in. And if it's something interesting you want to see, then these are like the built-in C libraries. And if you want to see how they work, Google it. Google, you know, the C library for sys, and I don't know if it's going to show you the actual code, but you might get some descriptive API, or you might get something where you can learn what this code is doing and how it works. All right? All right, one more thing because I'm here. When you're in your command window, I don't know whether they told you to do this in Zell or whatever, you type in import this and you get Tim Peters' Zen of Python. And it has just a whole bunch of neat, hippie things about Python and how us Pythonistas think it's a better language than everything else. Now is better than never is a good one. Don't procrastinate. Do things right away because you never know. Tomorrow may be a busy day, and you might not be able to put off today, tomorrow, what you can do today. All right? All right. Then remember all this stuff. I'm going to take this code, and I'm going to put it up in Sakai for you, and you're going to be fine. Announcements. This is the third video, so I'm going to do a couple of announcements, but not really. Tomorrow, which is going to be Tuesday the 26th, I'm going to get you your assignments. They're going to be due the 6th of July, which is still a decent ways away, a week and a half, a little more than that, but don't procrastinate. You want to read, you want to get up to speed. When you see the assignments, at first you're going to go, oh my God, that seems like a lot. It's not. You're going to see in a few days when I do my sample homework assignment. I want you to try it first. But near the end of the week, my sample assignment will kick in, and you'll be able to see that I do something very, very similar to what you're going to be assigned, and I do it in like 20 minutes. Okay? So it seems complicated to you because you're learning, but it's not. I don't want you to get scared. I don't want you to get reticent. I want you to attack it. And slowly but surely, I want you to learn that computer programming isn't solve a problem and do it. It's a whole bunch of little mini problems that have to be put together so that you solve one problem to get to this state, then you solve another problem to get to this state. And it's like cognitive psychology problem solving. You have an initial state, you move through that field until you get to the goal state, you solve the problem. You'll get that, and you'll see what I mean when we get going. The first assignment is going to be used by the second assignment. It's going to be part and parcel of the second assignment, okay? You know, my usual warning, get going on that midterm, because that's July 12th, and it's going to creep up on you, and you don't want to rush it. You want to do a decent job on it, because it's a lot of points. It's like 60 points. It's a 50-year grade. So that's, you know, a pretty big deal. So make sure you do that. Keep moving along. I didn't get the grades today because I was running around buying boxes to build a bookcase, and I had to sit in my house so they could turn the gas off. That took them 3 hours to get there. What a pain. So I didn't get a chance to populate the grade book and start sending out grades yet. I'm going to be in the cave tomorrow. I'm probably going to be in the cave a lot of the time on Wednesday. Hopefully I'm going to be able to bang that stuff out and get those grades to you, all right? But don't worry about grades. Everybody's doing good. Everybody's doing really well. So you don't have any worries as far as that's concerned, all right? All right, then. Probably tomorrow, if not tomorrow, the next day, I'm going to get you the 4th video, which is where I redo the Euler. But when I redo the Euler, I'm going to make my own library. So unlike this, where we're using pre-made standard libraries, I'm going to create a library of our own that we can import in and use just like these other ones. We can make one just like it. And then probably near the end of the week, I'm going to hit you with that example homework problem. So you're not just floating out in the ocean when you have to do this particular homework you're going to get tomorrow. Tomorrow you're going to learn what a Harshad number is. There's a little teaser for you. All right? Then I'm getting out of here. You be good. Start watching videos. And I'll talk to you later. Be good. Bye.